Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We have a lot to talk about today, and I thought I was gonna do like a whole little Q&A thing, and I have questions and I'm going to answer them, but rather than like a Q&A type, like I'm gonna sit here and there's gonna be a question and then I answer, I'm just gonna kind of talk about a lot of things, I guess, and answer the questions that you guys had and sent me. But I'm going to do it in the format of a mukbang. And on the menu today is beef broth. Yum. I don't want to spill it because it's very hot. As you can see, the steam. But this is lunch. It's actually not as bad as it looks. It tastes like ramen noodles, but without the noodles. So there's that. Okay, so the first question I got was what my diet is like. My diet for the past 2 weeks has been clear liquids only. Obviously I did cheat here and there, and I talked about this in my last video a little bit. So essentially what I've been able to consume is broth. I have like chicken, turkey, and beef. Those are the three I've been eating, and I try to switch it up so that they don't get like tiring of, or like it doesn't get old. And beef so far seems to be my favorite, which is surprising. I for sure thought I was gonna like chicken better. And then I've been able to have sugar-free Jello, and protein shakes, and that's in water, and that's pretty much been what I've had for the past 2 weeks. Am I forgetting some? Oh, and I can have Gatorade, like this one, but it has to be the zero sugar one. And oh, and protein water. So for mine, I got Body Armors. You can see my one in the back. So I've been able to have those. But yeah, it's been very, very hard. The first week actually was easier, I would say. I felt like I got to a point where I was like, okay, like I can get through this, but these past couple of days have been awful. And a lot of what I can drink and consume has a large like sodium intake, or like they have high sodium levels. And so I've gotten a lot of salt, not like salt, but salty flavors in the past 2 weeks. And so I've had a awful like sweet tooth. Like I've wanted something sweet so bad. And my protein shakes are sweet-ish, but they just really were not doing it for me. And so this week has been very hard. I did have chocolate the other day. I cheated. But I don't even like chocolate like that, but it's like this very weird craving. I don't know. My body has been doing a lot of bizarre things over the past 2 weeks. I did lose 14 pounds in a week though, so that was crazy. And I weighed in on Friday, so it's been a couple days now. I don't know how much I've lost since Friday. If I've lost anything, I still feel like it's hard to see any difference. I mean, 14 pounds, like I feel like you would see a visible difference, and I feel like my face has gotten a little bit thinner, but aside from that, it's not like my clothes have been big necessarily. The next question I got was how long my recovery is going to be afterwards, and how soon will I return back to work. This is one of the biggest things that's like unknown about this surgery, because it's different for everyone. Like my surgery is tomorrow. My surgery is tomorrow. And my goal is to be back in class on Monday morning. Like I'm in college. I don't have time to be missing classes, especially this soon into the school year with midterms right around the corner. I don't have time for that. However, realistically, I just don't know if that's going to be possible. I will be on pain medication. I'm going to try and get through this thing without pain medication. I don't like pain meds. So if I can get through it without pain medication, I most definitely am going to try my hardest to. I just don't know what the pain is going to look like, and it's different for everyone, so it's not really like they can tell you what to expect. Another question I got was what diets I've tried in the past. This was actually, I like this question. I don't think it's a specific diet. Like, one thing I don't like is the keto diet. I've heard nothing but bad things about that diet. And to me, the keto diet is just something that is not realistic for me to execute for a long period of time. And for me, with the amount of weight that I've consistently needed to lose, I would have had to carry out a diet for a very long period of time to see the kind of results that I wanted to see. And so the keto diet just isn't that for me. However, towards the end of this summer, which is kind of like the reason why I started to question whether or not I should have surgery, I really just started cooking healthier, which I know that sounds like so stupid and probably to a lot of you is common sense. But for me, like this idea of going on a diet, like you had to eat certain foods, you couldn't eat a lot. It was just, you know, what it was what it was. But I found that if you choose healthier foods that you actually like, it's going to be a lot easier to maintain rather than forcing yourself to eat things that you don't like, because that means you're not going to stick with it very long. And so over the summer, I was doing a lot of things like making grilled chicken and quinoa and things like that. And I ended up losing like 8 pounds in a month, which for me is, I guess it's a lot, but if I'm in a pattern of losing weight, it's really not that much. But I also wasn't doing it as consistently as I could have been. And so I probably could have lost a decent amount of weight. But at the end of the day, I think I'm past the point of dieting to lose weight, because the kind of weight that I'm trying to lose is going to take a lot more than that. And obviously exercise plays a role in that as well. Which will lead me into my next question, which is why I chose surgery out of everything. I think a lot of people, how do I word this? I've just felt with like some of the conversations I've had with certain people, basically what I'm trying to say is I don't want y'all to think, and truthfully I really don't care, but I don't want y'all to think that I'm like unhappy and this is what led me to getting surgery, because it's really not. If anything, I'm the happiest and most comfortable with my body that I ever have been. And since I've done that, like, you know, since I've realized like this is my body, I'm going to accept it as it is. At that point, that's where I'm like, okay, I have to do better, because although I may accept myself in this form right now, my body, if I keep gaining weight at the rate I am, it's gonna shut down very quickly. It never reached a point, like right now I am healthy. I'm overweight, which in hindsight isn't healthy, but it's not like my liver is, like my organs are not shutting down, you know, I don't have heart problems, like none of that stuff. I've never experienced that stuff. And thankfully, because I'm choosing this route, I won't have to. But I feel like for me, choosing this surgery, took a lot of thought. I've been thinking about this since I was 16, which is even too early to even have the surgery. I'm pretty sure you have to be 18. So it's not like I've been thinking about it for a couple months and then just decided to do it. Like, this has been years. I've been thinking about this for years. And it was just something that I did not have any interest in, because I think the idea of having weight loss surgery just has a bad rep. And, I think when you say, oh yeah, I'm having weight loss surgery, people are just very uneducated about what that is. Like, I've had people come up to me like, oh yeah, like how much are they taking off? Like, how much fat are they taking off? And I don't think people understand that they don't take anything. So the weight loss surgery that I am having is called it's the gastric sleeve. Gastric is a shortened word. Gastric is a shortened word for something, but I don't know how to say it because I'm not a doctor. But I'm having the gastric sleeve. So essentially what they're doing is going in, and it's laparoscopic, and they're taking 85% of my stomach. Not like my belly, but like the actual organ, my stomach. And with that, they take part of the hormone that makes you hungry. This is what I've read on the internet, and some of it is what my doctor has told me. So some information that I have is only as accurate as Google gave me. My doctor has given me a lot of information, but not like the nitty-gritty stuff that I've gotten off Google. So yeah, they go in, they take part of a very large portion of my stomach, and basically that just shrinks it. And so afterwards you have to follow this very strict diet, because if I just go back into eating normally, my stomach's just gonna expand again, and then surgery, like there's really no point. So what I have to do is I have to gradually work from like liquids up to soft foods, up to not solid food. Like, it's very hard to explain like verbally, you know. They put it on paper. I have my whole little packet that I showed you guys in my last video, but basically I just have to very, very slowly build my way back up to eating solid food again, which prevents the stomach from stretching back out, because the whole point is that by having a smaller stomach, I won't eat as much, therefore I lose weight, and at a very rapid rate. And so for me, this is the only way to get free, like literally, because I can exercise and I can eat right, but again, with the amount of weight that I am trying to lose, it just does not make sense for me. And so by doing this, it's just a tool to lose weight. That's how my surgeon explained it to me, is that just having the surgery is not going to make me lose any weight. I'm going to come out of surgery the same weight that I am at right now. But how I follow the diet plan and create an exercise plan, that is what makes me lose weight. And the fact that I lost 14 pounds in a week just off of this diet alone, that just shows how rapid it's going to be. Like, I'm going to be losing weight like crazy. So yeah, I guess I kind of like went off on a tangent, and I don't even know if I properly answered the question, but essentially at the end of the day, this is the best route for me. And I'm not going to be out here like, oh my God, you should have weight loss surgery, because it's different for everyone. And not everyone that has weight loss surgery is as big as me. There are actually people half my size that still have weight loss surgery. It's just what's best for you. And if you're thinking about it, do your research first. Don't rush into it. Educate yourself. For me, like, I went and I had my consultation with my doctor, and they like tell you everything. They ask you what kind you want, because there are different kinds. I did not want gastric bypass. That is the one where they go in and completely reroute your stomach, and it's I think the most invasive weight loss surgery there is, and I didn't want that. And the track record of the gastric sleeve is that it's less invasive, and the results are just as good as gastric bypass. So that's what I'm doing. Another question I got was, how do I think it's going to affect me emotionally afterwards? Oh, this is gonna be a deep one. So buckle up. How do I want to start this? I was very frustrated at the fact that I didn't have enough time to do this over the summer. But I am a very firm believer in the fact that everything happens for a reason. And for me, I think that reason was that over the summer, I did not have access to a counselor. But now that I'm back in school, we have counselors here on campus. And I honestly cannot imagine having to go through this process without going to counseling. If I would have had to do what I'm doing now over the summer, it wouldn't have gone as smoothly as it has. And through counseling, I've been able to process a lot of my emotions. And this is gonna get deep for a real quick second. But like, yesterday when I had my appointment with my counselor, we talked about I told her that the other night, oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional. The other night, I literally stood in my mirror and I looked at myself. I did not have any clothes on. Well, I had a bra and I had pants on, but I literally just stood in the mirror and looked at myself, and I just took in what I am now and realized that, oh my God, I don't want to cry. I realized that over the years, especially these past couple of years, I don't ever know that I truly loved myself. Which sounds like, I don't like using that word because it sounds like so cliche, and it's, I think I just got to a point where I didn't necessarily accept who I was in my body, but I just became comfortable with the fact that I continued to gain weight, and I what's the word I'm looking for? I conformed. My whole life changed as I became bigger and bigger and bigger, and I just conformed to it, even though I didn't necessarily accept it. And I think a lot of people view me as like this confident, like self-spoken, like you're so strong, you're so confident, but really I was in this mindset of I'm gonna fake it till I make it, and I really did. But I think that making it for me was not really like me being confident of my body. Now, I don't want to sit here and say that, how do I say that? I think I said this in my last video, but advocating for plus size women and being a plus size woman is part of my identity, and it's a very important part of my identity because it changed the way I lived my life. And so when I stood in the mirror the other night and just looked at myself, I realized that part of me is no longer going to be here. And so it was almost like I was grieving the loss of what now is myself, and kind of letting go. This is just so, I probably sound really dumb, but like it's a real thing, and I didn't even know I felt this way until going to counseling and basically being forced to think about my feelings, because this is stuff that I've never thought about before this month. Like stuff I've never thought about. And even now, as my surgery became closer and closer, it's like I realized, oh my God, like so many anxieties that I've carried from being overweight. Like if I go somewhere, am I gonna fit in a chair that they have somewhere? And like it's embarrassing to an extent, but it's part of my life. Like I've said, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that because it is what it is. But just not being able, or not having to worry about carrying those anxieties alone is gonna completely change my life. And it's like like I said, it's like I'm losing a part of myself that I loved. I mean, to an extent, I might have not been the happiest, but I got comfortable with who I am as a person. And I don't know, it was like I was letting part of myself go and saying, I'm sorry that I never truly loved you in this form, and I love you now, but it's time to go. Like, you gotta go. And that was a very self-awakening transition. And from there, I feel like my mentality was finally in a place where I'm excited, because for the past week and a half, I've been nervous and just over it because this diet was so hard, and probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I did good at it. Like, I definitely cheated. I most definitely cheated. But I don't know. But now is my time to be vulnerable, and I'm taking it. I'm taking that time to be vulnerable. Another question I got was what my end results look like. And I don't have a goal. And I think that was very strategic of me to do, because the last time I lost a large amount of weight, it started to it started to become unhealthy. And I didn't want to do that this time around. I wanted to do it the right way. And so I don't have a goal weight. I don't have a goal size. I don't have any of that. I do know that I want to get under a certain size, but it's not, I don't know. I don't have a certain weight. I just want to be healthy, and I want to lose weight to the point where I can see a difference and I feel a difference. And that's ultimately my goal. One of my biggest worries is my skin, what my skin is going to look like after, because you can lose weight, but at this point my skin is obviously very stretched out from all the weight that I have now, and that doesn't go away. So I've already looked into cosmetic surgeries to fix all that, because that's going to be my biggest insecurity by far. But I'm willing to, I don't know. If the worst thing that happens is me having saggy skin, I ultimately think it's going to be worth it in the end. Someone did ask me if I recommend looking into this. I did just kind of talk about this. I'm not going to go out there and say you should get weight loss surgery. Like, it changed my life, because I don't know how it's going to affect my life yet, because I haven't had it. But also, like I said, it's different for everybody. And you have to figure that out for yourself. Maybe we can have this conversation after I have surgery. But ultimately, I think when it gets to a point where your weight is starting to affect your health, and you've actually tried, like, and I mean try, because like for me, it's been years. It's been so many years that I've tried to lose weight, but nothing ever works. And so by putting myself in this position of almost having to be forced to lose weight, because my stomach is going to be a fourth of its size, probably even smaller, I have no choice but to follow this diet. And I don't think that's the right attitude to have. But for me, and I don't think I meant to say it like that, but for me, this is going to be my tool and my resource that I have to use to lose the amount of weight that I want to lose. And there's no, in my mind and in my opinion, there's no other option at this point for me but this surgery. And that's what was scary about it, because for a very long time, this surgery was never an option. But I've tried and I've failed at a lot of things, and so it seems like this is the only option. And so for a while, it seemed like I was kind of forced into having this surgery. But just know you're never forced into doing anything. And I didn't have to have this surgery. It is ultimately my choice. But with that, I think it's the right choice for me. So I go in for surgery tomorrow. I have to be at the hospital at 5:30 a.m. Not looking forward to that. My doctor said the whole process will take about 3 hours. But I'll only be on the table for about 45 minutes to an hour. So yeah, I don't know. Say your prayers. I feel very safe in the hands of the doctors here, and I know that they know what they're doing, and I just have to trust in that, and I have to pray. And like I said, everything happens for a reason. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm really not nervous. I'm like excited. I'm just so excited to see what's going to come out on the other end. Yeah, I don't know. My life is literally about to change, and I keep saying that, but I haven't processed it. And like I said before, there's so many things that have come up in this journey already that, like, emotionally and physically, that I just never thought I'd have to process. And that journey doesn't end when I have surgery. There's going to be things that come up in surgery, like me losing weight, me looking down and not having a stomach, like things like that are just gonna be wild. And it sounds silly, but like, when you've been, like, I've been big for a long time, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to be big, because I'm sure I'm not trying to be a size 2 by any means. I don't want to be skinny at all, actually. I just want to be healthy. And that's that. But even so, I'm just already knowing that I'm going to see numbers on the scale that I have not seen in a very, very long time. And to me, that already makes it worth it. And the fact that when I stepped on the scale on Friday and saw the number that I weighed, it felt good. It felt really good. And yeah, that's all I got. Obviously I can't obviously I can't vlog on the table tomorrow. But I'll probably film a little something in the morning before I go, and once I get home and situated, maybe, depending on how I'm feeling, and we'll go from there. But please send your prayers. If you don't pray, please send good thoughts, good vibes. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very nervous, but it'll be good. On that note, I'm gonna go and prepare myself for tomorrow. I will see you guys soon. Bye.